we would like to highlight what are the factors that are affecting the nZEB training. Yes, we have talked about nZEB, we have been talking about training in general. Okay, we are going to link both. Don't worry, it's just 15 minutes, 20, and we will go to have lunch, okay? We are going to talk about the content and the keys regarding training for this kind of stuff. Content, as we have been talking today, you have all the topics to be addressed depending on your country, okay? And all the content you have seen, we have available in the platform. Regarding the aspects that interact with the nZEB definition, we have to take into account, as a summary of what we have been talking today, that we have to talk about financial and market aspects. We cannot be not linked to that. Technical aspects, political and legal aspects, I'm sorry, but we have to deal with that in every country. Yeah? And environmental and societal aspects as well, how we deal with the people inside the buildings and how they are or not aware, if we maybe have to make awareness campaigns before introducing nZEB renovation and things like that. Regarding political and legal aspects, for example, in our pilot yesterday, we had the pilot from Spain yesterday in Valencia, and one of the things that people were more worried about was the official software we have for certification. In order to obtain an A letter, that it would be more or less nZEB building here in Spain, the software is really a very bad software and it's not working, and people cannot reflect the good things of some renewables and some passive measures in this kind of software. So they cannot reach an A with the buildings that really don't consume energy. So that's a problem we have to deal here in Spain. Yeah? You cannot use the official software to, for example, trompe walls, for example. You cannot introduce them. Okay. And aspects that interact with an nZEB definition is that we have to be clear, okay, in what is the objective of the courses. We have to be clear regarding the cost optimal barrier, that here in the Mediterranean it's really a problem to reach this cost optimal. We have to be flexible and adaptable to climate conditions. Okay, as you know, we have the discussion regarding different climates. We have to be ambitious also regarding the environmental impact, and we have to elaborate all our stuff taking into account the agreement between all the stakeholders. That's what we are doing now in Spain. So, taking into account this, okay, the keys we think is really important for the development of the courses is, as we have lack of collaboration between the different professionals, okay, we should, as we are doing in PROF, putting them together to discuss during the course. And that's an opportunity we have during PROF, and it's really working to understand other points of view. As we have lack of harmonized certification and qualification schemes, we are creating one in PROF, and we will have at the end of PROF a common European certification that will be available for the people being trained in our courses, as that's one thing we offer that they don't have in other course they develop regarding nZEB. And regarding training materials, we have been talking about that. Okay. So, okay, as Jan has been talking about the different learning approaches, I think it's not necessary for me to go deeper in that way, but regarding the environment we have during the courses, is necessary to have the people motivated, offering them different type of alternatives, not having them seated on a chair the whole course, maybe with different city tours, different kind of activities, as Jan told us, to make them do things. It should be rich, reflective, let them, the attendees, discuss with the others. We need to respect the background of the people, their works, their timetable, the schedule, making them able to attend maybe by webinars, or it's really difficult for people to spend maybe 40 hours or 50 hours in a course. So we have to take this into account for a schedule and for the different options we give to them. And finally, it's really important also to involve the different stakeholders, not just technical people showing technical materials. We need to have the different points of view of the people promoting, people investing, and also people taking decisions at a political level. It's important to have all of them involved in the information, because if not,
together.
Yeah, together. At the same time. Yeah, because the real person investing in that building in the future had all the different exercises of the people working there, and different crazy solutions, because some of them were really imaginative. And he was saying, okay, that, for example, it's okay, it's not a bad solution, but you haven't shown the cost of this, and it's important for you when you deal with any people investing that you at the first show all the prices. If not, it's really difficult for me to take decisions. These kind of things maybe is really important for them to be in front of that kind of situation for the future, for what's really in the market. It's also important, we also had in our course people inventing, okay, innovating with different technical solutions and putting them into the market. So they also have this point of view. And just to finalize, things that we have found during the experience of PROF TRAC that are important for the courses. It's really important that they know the cost optimal methodologies in order to apply them to every project they do, but maybe know exactly the whole methodology included in the directive, as it is really long and maybe difficult to apply. Some technical sheets that they can use, some easy simplification of cost optimal to make a first calculation with no very deep detail of what is really working or not. As in nZEB, one of the first things you need to know is if it is really profitable or not. They also, it's important to include how to deal with new technologies and how to be able to calculate it and include it in the final model. Yeah, but because most of them, they don't know how to simulate new things and include it in the official programs, but not even in the, for example, on Energy Plus program. So they need some methods to be able to calculate new technologies. They also really appreciate experts, real experts that have developed real buildings consider nZEB. They want real experiences for one architect or one engineer, starting from the beginning of the design phase to the final phase of this is the final building constructed. The barriers they have faced and every detail, as for example, some in our course, the people explaining their buildings, explained how they deal with the regulation, how they deal with the city council of their city, because they have to take into account different new things that now are not included in the legislation, or how to find the new technologies in the market, or how to finance the building. Yeah? These kind of things in the whole process of a building, a real building, is really important. And to visit the buildings and see it on site is really important also for them. It's really motivating. And they have also asked a lot for methods and software for designing nZEB. The conclusion, at least in Spain, was that you cannot use the official software we have for certification to simulate this kind of buildings and take decisions about it. It's not possible because it's not a very easy software and it's not it's not good working. So they need other software to be used to modelize and to simulate and to calculate the design of the building and to be able to take decisions. So they ask us for training on that software. And working on multidisciplinary groups, as I told before, it's really important. They need time to work together in person, to be able to discuss, not to give them an exercise and say to them, okay, you have to develop it and bring it to the next class. No, it's important for them to have time, as you are going to have it tomorrow, to discuss it together, to take decisions. They don't need too much time to develop a conceptual exercise. It's important that the time they have, it's together on class. And maybe it's not as important that they in class are given too many hours of lectures, because they can study at home alone. It's not important for them to be together to study the technical lectures. What is important is to be together to develop the exercises proposed and to discuss. Yeah. And it's also important to have different experts in different fields to give them feedback about the exercises proposed. People from engineering, people from architecture with expertise on nZEB. So that's the analysis we've done for keys that we have found are important to develop the courses. Now it's your turn to decide how you would like to implement these things into your courses and to propose new ideas and new ways of learning. That's why, because we are here.